be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn podcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to G.W.R. Here on this Wednesday night, May 31st. Hard to believe it. Already June. This year's flying. This year's flying by.
Yes, it is.
But I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez, also joined by Marcus Fine as always, and we got special guest promoter of Thunder Blunder Wrestling, Walter Buckley. Walt Beasy, how's it going, man?
It is an absolute honor to be back here. It's been like 7 months since I've been on this show. It was good getting to see you guys back in April at the not back in April, but at the beginning of May rather at the Comic-Con with WCWO. That was a nice series of shows. A lot of big action there, no doubt.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of good shows. A lot of good wrestling that weekend. That's for sure.
Yeah, sure was.
I'll let you go ahead real quick while I get to
Walter,
check the sound and get this shared.
I know you're really excited for this show. Why don't you go ahead and give us the date of the show and the time and everything, and we'll start off that way.
Absolutely. TOB5/THUNDERMANIA, Saturday, June 24th in Columbus, Ohio, suburb of Columbus, Ohio. That is, it's actually Lewis Center, Ohio, at the A2 Gardens at the Oasis Beach Sports Complex. The doors are going to be opening up at 6:30. The bell time will be 7:30, and general admission's only $15. We got a massive place, seats 2,000 people. So let everybody know about this show. Bringing the ultimate thunder.
Man, that sounds like an awesome venue and everything. I wish I could go. We're previously booked for that night, unfortunately. But
you guys
not unfortunately, but we're going to be at a good show also. But I'm sorry that we're going to miss your show.
It's all good, man. I understand it happens.
What match are you? I know you're looking forward to all of them. I know because you take your time and you book them and you try to book the best show that you can. But is there one match that you're really super excited for? Maybe just a touch more than the others.
I mean, I'm really pumped up for the Angel Metro Ari Alexander match. You know, Angel Metro has never been to Thunder or Blunder before, and she's really been tearing it up in the United States recently. You know, she's been tearing it up in West Virginia. She's been tearing it up in New Jersey, and just a couple nights ago, she was at RCW. That's Ricky Shane Page's promotion up in Cleveland. The place I discovered her, though, was down in Jeffersonville, Indiana, at Shane Mercer's promotion, XCF. And I believe she wrestled Thunder Kitty and Billy Starks back in February in a triple threat match. And that night I knew, man, I got to get her on the next one. And thankfully, Walbeezy brought her in for everybody.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Take on. She's been with Thunder or Blunder since the very beginning. Ari Alexander, you know, at the first Thunder or Blunder. In July 2021, she took on Hollywood Haley J. Then, of course, last year at the second Thunder Blunder, she took on Logan Vitor. And then at the end of the year last year, she took on Hardcore Charles, a.k.a. Charlie Cruel, in a hardcore match that got pretty insane. But I do believe this is going to be Angel Metro's biggest challenge to date. And, you know, Angel Metro is no slouch either. You know, this is going to be a tough match for Ari. You know, Ari hasn't been in the ring with somebody that is this dark, I guess you could say, somebody who's came from the dark side like this. Not only that, she is a rock musician as well. She does vocals. She does all kinds of modeling. Angel is a multi-talented superstar for sure, with a name in more than just one thing. And it's really cool to have her. Really pumped up for that.
next question is why not?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you froze up. They had this problem the other night too.
Oh boy.
You can hear me though, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Crystal clear.
I'll try to text Chris. I'm sure they know by now since we're not answering questions. Oh yeah, they're reloading.
Awful early for a blunder there, boys. Well, Marcus, what match are you most looking forward to seeing? I know you can't make it either, but which one are
Yeah,
you
but
most looking
I think you know what match I'm looking forward to.
that Brian
Shane-
Pillman Shane match,
Shane
right?
Mercer, yes. Yes, that's the match I'm looking forward to. That's where I first seen Shane Mercer was at Thunder Blunder 2, so I fell in love with him that night. I mean, he
Yeah, that
picked
match
Dale
he-
Patrick up and tossed him across the ring, and Dale's not a small man. I thought, man, that guy's a beast.
to this day, it's definitely my favorite match I've ever made. Anytime somebody asks, one match to recommend if they've never seen my stuff before, always recommend that Dale Patrick Shane Mercer match. Of course, Shane Mercer over the weekend was at Derby City Wrestling. And then the night before that, he was in Houston, Texas at Loco Wrestling. Shane Mercer doing it big all over the United States. And of course, just a few weeks ago, he was at XPW in their King of the Deathmatch tournament. He went all the way to the finals there. And he had one of Drake Younger's last matches, actually. He was in there with Drake Younger and
Oh, wow.
Black and a couple other individuals, and that got pretty violent. So. I don't know if Brian Pillman's ready for Mr. Shane Mercer.
I don't know. I thought they were coming
Brian
back.
Pillman, obviously, second generation superstar, got his start right here in Indianapolis at WCWO.
Mhm.
One of his first matches against IK3. Of course, last week, him and Blake had a great match, like they always do. Really sucks that Blake's not going to be on this card. He was originally supposed to face Nick Diamond. Nick Diamond is now going to be taking on Luke Savage in his third Thunder Blunder appearance. Nick Diamond, of course, making his debut for Thunder Blunder. Discovered Nick Diamond at my last appearance with JICW down in Martinsville, Indiana. And honestly, out of everybody on that card, Nick Diamond far and away stood out head and shoulders above everybody else. Are you familiar with Nick Diamond, Marcus?
Oh, yeah. We interviewed Nick Diamond. Well, I wasn't part of the group at the time, but they interviewed Nick Diamond, probably 6 months ago. And then we talked some at JICW, and then we talked some at briefly, they were at the Jeffersonville show for the TCW, JICW combined show. So, yeah, when I seen him last year or 2 years ago in Des Moines, I've seen Nick Diamond around, so he's a good talent.
And another match that I'm pretty excited about, as everybody knows, it's that no disqualification falls count anywhere match with Icon Lee taking on Dalton Love, who's going to be accompanied to the ring by the gorgeous and stunning Lily Love. And obviously, Icon Lee's took notice of that as well. You're going to see a video from him later tonight, actually, where he's just totally goes insane and lets loose and shows everybody just how far off the deep end he's went. This match is going to get ugly. Like, it's going to have those Matt Hardy versus Edge vibes from 2005,
Right.
but a different, you know what I'm saying?
Chris says that they lost power and they're trying to get everything back up. I don't know if they lost power in Muncie or they're at their house, but they lost power. So he's working on coming back. I'm not familiar with Icon Lee. Is he an Ohio wrestler?
Yes. I got familiar with him through Cincinnati Wrestling. He took on Gaston LaRue earlier this year, and that feud just set the independent wrestling world on fire. And right away, I knew that was somebody that I had to have. You know, Icon Lee does a really good job at getting the word out about his events. He goes out of his way to talk about where he's going to be at, and he just really goes above and beyond for whoever he's wrestling for, and I couldn't ask for a better person to help get the word out with Thunder or Blunder, and you know,
Well, and he's
I'm not
taking on
sure.
Dalton Love, which is a top talent in the state right now. So
But I'm sorry.
I said, and he's taking on Dalton Love, which is one of the top talents in the state right now.
Yeah. Another Ohio Indiana match right there. Icon Lee, of course, from Cincinnati, and then Dalton Love from Muncie, Indiana.
We tried to hold the fort down while you guys were gone.
I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, our power just shut off to
Yeah.
the whole house,
Well,
and then it came right back on.
My whole neighborhood lost power for just long enough to knock us off.
And then, of course, I had to wait for the internet to load back up and all that.
So we still live?
Yep.
Okay, we're still live.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Marcus held it while we were going.
Marcus, go ahead and continue.
Okay.
Because I don't know where we're at, so you go ahead and continue.
Okay, this venue you're having this at, it sounds a lot like the one that Jake Oman runs these White River Wrestling events in. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah, it's very similar to that.
All right, well, you picked a good one because I was trying to explain that to Tony and Chris about our White River Wrestling event, and it's like that venue is something else. So
What I was asking, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear
you. He looks like he froze up now.
Still there, Walt?
We was talking about Dalton Love's opponent, Icon Lee.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Okay, there he is.
Yeah, we've seen Icon before. He's pretty good.
Yeah, we saw him in Cincinnati, right?
Seen him in Cincinnati.
that's what Walt said. That's where he's staying.
Jeffersonville.
Yeah, I think he was in
Because
Jeffersonville.
he took on that three-way.
With the three-way with Austin. Ace Austin,
Ace
and
Austin.
then the guy he brought with him. I can't remember
his name. Yeah, that's the first time we've seen him.
Then we saw him down there in Cincinnati as well.
Yes. The question I have for Walter: why Columbus, Ohio?
Columbus, Ohio is the first place I ever went to go see a match out of state myself. Almost 21 years to the day from when THUNDERMANIA is going to be. It was the King of the Ring where Brock Lesnar won and Triple H and The Undertaker wrestled. Kurt Angle tapped out Hulk Hogan. And then, of course, as you guys know, over the last year or so, I've been making a little bit of a footprint out in Ohio a little bit. Of course, brought Jared Kripke to Cincinnati Wrestling in September of last year. And then I brought you guys and Blake Money Wright to Cincinnati Wrestling last December, where Blake Money Wright took on Zachary Wentz. And then a few weeks ago, I brought Jared Kripke to Ascend Pro Wrestling, where he had a ladder match in the Make Your Name ladder match. He had a really, really good showing there. The crowd really ate him up there. Of course, he's going to be taking on Piper, GK fan. And another Ohio versus.
Be real good. I also know that you're going to have one of your favorites, Mercer, against
Brian Pillman Jr.
Yeah. I wanted to call him Flying Brian. I didn't want to do that. But he looks so much like his dad. But how excited are you for that? Have they ever met before in the ring?
This is a first time ever encounter with Brian Pillman Jr. and the Iron Demon Shane Mercer. And the first time I ever seen them both in person, well, Brian Pillman, he wasn't wrestling on this show, but he was there. It was at GCW in 2020 when they were at the Wright River State Park. And Shane took on Tony Deppen that day. Brian Pillman was just kind of there hanging out. But it all goes back to that day. You know, that's right when he was right before Brian got signed with AEW.
I wasn't
kind of
there.
interesting that they meet for me. So it's kind of cool.
I wasn't there for that show, but the first time I ever seen Game Changer Wrestling was that show. I seen it on pay-per-view. And that was the first time I ever watched it.
Being outside right there, right by the river, that was a great view. It was
That's
a
not
great
the-
spot for sure.
Because he said 2020, so that's not the one we went live for.
No. That was,
We done a watch along with one like last year.
Yeah,
or something?
they was running outdoor places because of the pandemic
Oh, okay.
and stuff. Yeah, so
So this is back when everything was shut down.
yeah, they were still running whenever they could, and that was the first time I ever seen a Game Changer. First time I ever seen Tony Deppen. First time I seen Mercer. It was a lot of first times.
Do you plan on doing another Thunder or Blunder show in Indiana?
At some point, most definitely, yeah. Just need to get a little bit of a break, you know. There's just a whole lot of wrestling going on at once in the Indianapolis area right now. There's just a lot of it, man. And I just felt like I needed to, get away for a while, from the general area. Like I said, I definitely do plan on coming back. This is something I felt like I needed to do. And it's been a goal of mine, as you guys know, over the entire time. Originally thought this was going to be an Oklahoma situation, but it's going to be much closer to home, thankfully. Not nearly as far.
Yeah, I'm not going. I would have went to Columbus. I like Columbus, but I'm not going to Oklahoma.
Well, you got to get to Oklahoma.
Too far.
Yeah, but we're talking about going to Denver, so
Unless Walter's flying me out, I'm not going to Oklahoma.
They still want. They're still trying to get me to do a show out there. We'll see what happens. I just didn't want that to be my first out of state one. I wanted to go somewhere else first. So
I'm
still
sure
could
Walter will
happen.
fly you out
It's
there
just
in
not
a
going to
private
happen.
plane. Right. Well, you'll fly him out there in your private plane.
I wish I had a private plane. My God. I'm sure.
Mine and Walter's.
It's like 20 grand.
Mine and Walter's luck, it would crash. So I'm not. No, I'm okay. I've never been on a private plane.
What other matches do you have on the card that you haven't talked about yet? Because I'm not sure what matches you guys talked about when we were got kicked off.
Oh, of course, we're going to have Jared Kripke and Piper GK Fan in another Indiana versus Ohio match. Of course, Jared Kripke's been on a hell of a roll the last several years. He's been in the ring with Ace Austin. He's taken on Matt Taven, Cowboy James Storm, former TNA superstar Chase Stevens. He became the JICW Austin Fury Memorial Champion. He was the MFX champion there for a little while as well. Of course, done all kinds of stuff for OVW. Piper making his third appearance for Thunder Blunder, second singles match appearance for Thunder Blunder. Last Thunder Blunder, he took on Dex Royal. He's just recently lost his Ascend Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. He held that for almost 6 months. He lost that to the Warrior Pro Wrestling Champion, Carson Drake. So now Carson Drake is a dual champion. But
I actually think
Piper
Carson
is going to take
Drake
that
owns the title
aggression.
down in Kentucky. Sorry, but I think Carson Drake owns a title down in Kentucky too.
Yeah, it might be 3. Wouldn't surprise me. But Piper's going to take that aggression of his title, and he's going to do everything he can to defeat Jared Kripke. Jared Kripke, he's coming off a loss at the last Thunder Blunder, just like Piper is. They're both coming in with a loss. Multiple losses on Piper's side. So, he's ready to. They're both ready to just tear each other up and get their first Thunder of Blunder victory.
Yeah, Kripke's outstanding. One of my favorites and underrated a little bit. I think. I love watching him wrestle. I think he's great with the crowds. He gets whatever character he's doing at the time. He gets over with the crowd no matter where he goes. So I think he does a great job.
Absolutely, and he always sells a crap ton of merch every time he breaks out his table. They love him.
Yep. Yeah, they definitely do. Yeah, promoters out there definitely somebody they need to book is Jared Kripke. I know Chris feels the same way. He's outstanding. And I know Marcus has seen him many times too.
And Carson Drake, the guy we were talking about a little bit during that. People should book him as well. I really think he's excellent as well.
I think within the next 2 years, we may be seeing him on TV.
Yeah, I do too.
Don't want to forget about Dex. Speaking of Dex Royal, it's Dex Royal and ZDP, in a battle of Indianapolis versus Louisville, Kentucky there. Two high flyers. Of course, at the last Thunder Blunder, ZDP took on Zay Gates. And then, as I just mentioned, Dex Royal got a victory over Piper, GK fam, at the last Thunder Blunder. Very first Thunder Blunder, Dex Royal took on Shane Mercer. Second Thunder Blunder, Dex Royal took on Poison Apollo Stista. And then at the third Thunder Blunder, he was in six-man tag team action with the highlight reel taking on GK Fam and Jackson Morgan. And Dex Royal in the highlight reel got a win there. So Dex Royal is ready to get another victory with Thunder Blunder against ZDP, somebody who earlier this year defeated Carlito Caribbean Cool. Everybody loves Carlito. We've seen that at the Backlash pay-per-view not too long ago, how big a reaction he got, and to beat somebody like him, you got to be pretty damn talented. And of course, ZDP was at XCF Flax Month. ZDP is doing everything he can to stay out there and bring the Thunder, and I think he's really going to bring the Thunder something fierce to Dex Royal. I don't know if Dex is fully, taking this match as seriously as maybe he should, because Dex Royal's used to winning and defeating everybody. Dex Royal's no stranger to big matches either. He's taken on Myron Reed. He's taken on the Pope, Elijah Burke. He's taken on Michael Elgin in the past as well. So, this is a very interesting match. If you like that WCW late 90s cruiserweight style or that late 2010s Ring of Honor television title style, this is the match for you, most definitely.
Going back to your very first show that you promoted until now, what's the biggest change for you? Of course, doing your first show was your first time. Now, I think you said you're on your fifth show. Yep. I think that's what you said. How have things changed? What's the biggest change do you see?
Different people and different things happening, it's just things being put together in general differently. I would say it's just everyone is very different, has been very different in that way. I guess just the consistent change would probably be the easiest way to answer that.
Any other matches?
Yeah, there's a few more. We have Casey Clay making her third Thunder Blunder appearance. Of course, her first two, she took on Logan Vitor, and then at the last one, she took on Mickey Knuckles. And if you guys remember, Mickey Knuckles got thrown through a bar door by Casey Clay, almost took her out of action. And Casey, she wanted another big match, and she's going to be taking on Haley Shadows, somebody I know you guys are very, very familiar with. She's been around for a little while now, multiple-time women's champion. She's taken on people like Billy Starks and Shauna Reed. She's also wrestled Ari Alexander before in the past. She's been on AEW Dark. She's had different cameo appearances for the WWE as well. So, and can't forget about all her stuff with OVW. Haley Shadows, one of the biggest names in women's professional wrestling. So to finally have her on a Thunder or Blunder wrestling event is pretty damn thunder, I must say. And this could be a chance for Casey to finally get her first victory with Thunder or Blunder. She's 0 for 2, and Haley Shadows, she don't look at the lights very often, but after that match that Casey had with Mickey, she came really close. She was this close. And if she gets even closer, that just might be enough to beat Haley Shadows. And so I'm very excited and interested to see just exactly how this one goes.
What's your expectations of this show? I mean, are you going to a new venue, going to a new place? I don't think you've ever had a show in Ohio either. So, what would be your? I mean, I know you want 2,000 people there. You said the venue hosts 2,000. You would love to see it sell out. I mean, what are you expecting? What would make Walter happy?
A lot of people. Don't even want to put a number on it. It's just a lot of people, more than I've ever had by quite a bit. Let's put it that way.
You think you're getting a pretty good buzz out there as far as people knowing about it and people talking about it, and how do you think that's going so far?
I can't complain about it. I've got a lot more things going for me that I haven't had in the past as far as people getting the word out there, doing a few different tactics this time. I've got a couple of the competitors on the event selling the tickets themselves. We've got some internet tactics we're doing to get the word out as far as promotion goes, and underground advertising and stuff like that. Also, the people that I'm setting this event up with are from the music world, and so they're helping on that side of things too. They've got a few big events in Ohio with some major league wrestling that we're going to be flying. WWE is going to be in Cincinnati the week before. We'll be there. Impact Wrestling has a pay-per-view in Columbus 2 weeks before our show. We'll be there too, flying a few other places as well. So everybody is going to know about this shit, I assure you, to the best of my ability.
Do you think? Have you seen that? Maybe that being a little harder to promote since it is out of state.
Well, the thing about going there, it isn't like Indianapolis where there's almost a dozen organizations within, not just in Indianapolis, but the immediate surrounding area. When you look at Columbus, they got one organization, and they don't even stay there all the time. They travel and go do other stuff. And really, the only wrestling that comes to Ohio is WWE and Impact and GCW. They don't really have a system of independent promotions. And so to a point, this is kind of a fresh situation for me as far as going someplace that hasn't been beaten to death with wrestling already.
Yeah, I understand.
No, that makes sense.
There's so much competition in Indianapolis. A lot of competition. And like I said, the surrounding areas. You can go within, of Muncie, we can go an hour this way, hour that way, hour this way, hour this way, and just go find a wrestling show. So it's not hard. I never knew that there was that many wrestling shows. So I understand it being tough to compete. And then when you're just doing shows 3 or 4 a year, that could make things harder too. So, I mean, I understand why you're doing what you're doing. It makes sense.
Katrina?
We thank everybody for joining us.
Yeah, getting a lot of people on here, Walter. I
didn't
know that. I didn't know that many people like you. I'm just messing with you, Walter. You know that. I gotta give you a little bit of hard time. I gotta give you a little bit of hard time. You know that.
Always. Speaking of hard time, I'll tell you 2 people are going to give each other a really hard time at THUNDERMANIA. That's the end of the world, the internationally traveled Jake Oman taking on Impact Wrestling superstar Jake Christ. Battle of the Veterans right there, another Indiana versus Ohio match.
Yes.
Nearly 40 years of experience there.
Main event anywhere.
Yeah.
And Jake Chris just came back to Impact Wrestling. He was on their last pay-per-view.
That's right.
Yeah, just this weekend.
Yeah, that past weekend, yes, was a surprise partner. So yeah, I mean, and you've got a great show booked. You really do, man. I hope they're standing room only for you, man.
That's the prayer. That's the hope, man. You know,
I
speaking of,
know. I don't know if his heart could take it.
Hell no, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I want standing room only. I don't know if your poor heart could take it, Walter.
What walks out? He walks out of that curtain and there's over 2,000 people in that building. He's gonna pass out.
He might drop. I don't want nothing bad to happen to you. So maybe we could just go 1,999. Maybe.
hope for a good turnout, baby. You know, and then of course can't forget about Isaiah and Dale Patrick's. You know, that's another battle of the veterans right there. You know, Isaiah, you know, OVW superstar. He comes from Insane Clown Posse's wrestling place too. Juggalo Championship Wrestling, and of course everybody knows Dale Patrick's former AWR World Heavyweight Champion, Circle 6 Wrestling superstar, ICW No Holds Barred superstar, DCW superstar. He goes everywhere. You know, Dale Patrick's, you know, spectacular wrestler, professional wrestler. See him go against Isaiah, two people that, you know, love the brawl on the outside and do crazy stuff. Just be that daredevil. You know, it's truly a battle of the daredevil. I'm really excited.
Yeah, looking at you.
How can we possibly forget to talk about the owner versus owner, company versus company, Indiana versus Ohio match of Rampage Radisson taking on Tim Lutz? It's Ascend Pro Wrestling versus Frontier Elite Wrestling. For the bragging rights for who is the most Thunder promotion, either Indiana, Ohio. That's going to be a very, very interesting match.
Definitely. Hey, I want to know if I can book a match on your next show. I want to do a promoter against promoter. I want to do the promoter of Thunder or Blunder against the promoter of DCCW, ladies' man Mike King, taking on Walter Buckley.
Be doing the job for Mike for sure, man. Ain't no way I'm going over in that one.
Well, we could put you against Terry Coons. You'd have a better chance.
Oh, I'll take that match, absolutely.
Hey,
you said it.
Hey, I think
you said it.
We need to set that up. We need to set that up.
Marcus, did you have another question?
Well, I know Ohio can draw fans because are you familiar with the War promotion?
Yeah, Thomas Williams. Yeah, been around. They celebrated their 20th anniversary. They provided the ring for Squirrel Circle Expo. They're providing the ring for Impact Wrestling when they come to Columbus a couple weeks before I come to Columbus. So, very, very familiar with Mr. Thomas Williams. Of course, he provided the ring apron skirts for WCWO, and he's done it for hundreds and hundreds. I think that man getting back right now, man. He's making a killing.
Yeah, I think he did DCCW's aprons and stuff as well.
That's right. Sure did. The Cornfield Carnage.
Cornfield Carnage, and the current ones they used this past week at the Bearcat Rumble.
Yes.
Those are all Thomas Williams creations. He brings in at least 500 fans every show he has. So, yeah, those fans are out there.
And where's he located in Ohio? Is he in the Columbus area?
Lima, isn't it?
Lima. The reason I know that a manager I work with, he was excited. He went to that show Saturday night and took his grandkids and one of his daughters, and he was very excited. He had pictures and videos and stuff he was showing me. He'd been to some of those shows before. He can't think. He's a friend of the guy, and I didn't know who he was even talking about. And we seen him. And I can't think of his name. We seen him at the show in Fortville.
Oh, WTF.
The WTF. That guy that came in and he lost that losers match. The big, kind of big guy.
Oh man,
I can't think of his name, but he wrestled his last match. There at
he wrestled Apollo Star's son.
Yes, but I can't think of his name.
The Jock
Samuelson?
Yeah, Jock Sampson.
Yeah, Jock Sampson. And I guess he was pretty big in War and in that promotion. And he wrestled his last match there's Saturday night.
All right. The question I had is, how did you come up with the idea? When and how did it come about? Thunder or Blunder? When did you have the creation and how did it come about?
That happened. I actually started as a YouTuber in 2019. I used to revere beer and music and the Monday Night Raws and SmackDowns and the pay-per-views. I did that for a little under 2 years, and then I started sponsoring matches. First couple I did were WCWO. Brought in Shane Mercer for my first win against Jordan James. That was March of 2021, and then a month later, I brought in Ace Austin to take on Jordan James. And then a few months later, I did my first Thunder or Blunder. And the second one was in February last year. Third one was in July last year. And then, of course, the most recent one was in December of last year. And coming up on number 5 on Saturday, June 24th. That's pretty much it, buddy.
What was your favorite match from all the past Thunder or Blunders?
Oh, man. It always goes back to Dale Patricks and Shane Mercer. Thankfully, they're both on this card, man. And they tore each other up in that match, brother.
My favorite one is Blake Money Wright and Jake Ullman.
That's my favorite one.
The double knockout. I'll never look at a headbutt the same way again, that's for sure. My God. And they threw like over 100-something kicks in that match, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And both them
minutes, yeah.
They were both them matches on the same show, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe so, yes.
They were both on 2.
Yes.
Yep. That was on number 2. Yep.
30 solid minutes.
Yes.
Nothing but nonstop. Yes, fantastic stuff.
Yeah, one of the best independent matches I've ever seen, definitely.
Yeah, it was real good. I would say that's probably my favorite match as well.
But also seeing Shane Mercer throw Dale Patricks across the ring was pretty impressive. That's how I became a Shane Mercer fan, was the day he done that. It's like,
Walter, I'm going to give you some credit, and I don't want your head to get too big or anything, but you do a pretty good job of putting your matches, getting talent and putting your matches together. There's some, I know there's probably some things you're learning as you go. I mean, that may be the easy part, get the talent and saying, putting this guy against this guy, because they're going to knock it out of the park. So I know there's a lot of other hard things that goes along with trying to promote a show that I probably have no idea about. But you do a good job of putting on some pretty good shows, and you deserve some credit. And I hope you get some big success, man. I really do.
Means a lot hearing that, man. I love hearing you guys say that, man. It really keeps me motivated and keeps a smile on my face, let me know that someone appreciates and enjoys what I do. That's all we do.
Hey, how's it going, Chris?
well, Chris, what's up, buddy?
Damien DeVille.
Damien DeVille.
We send Damien on here all the time anymore, man. I love having Damien checking out our shows.
He was on. Yeah, he was on there he was commenting a lot Monday night when we was having talking some old school wrestling.
Love that.
Do you know when? Do you have an idea of when the next Thunder Blunder show will be after the June 24th one?
I'm looking at the very end of the year, probably December again, most likely. Now, if I get a sellout, it could be much sooner than that, but if not, probably December.
Now, I was online. Your tickets are $15 a piece, yes? Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if you get 2, they're $25. Now, is that the same deal you get at the door, or is that your online pricing?
That's online price. They'll all be $20 a day of at the door.
Okay. Because online you can get them 1 for $15, 2 for $25, and 4 for $50. So the more tickets you buy, the better you get.
Good deal.
That's right.
I guarantee you, I've been to a couple of. I mean, we've been to his shows too.
Yep, 2. We was at 2 and 4.
We've been at 2 and 4, and both shows were very good shows. So, and the ticket prices are very reasonable. Hey, if you guys are anywhere close to Columbus, Ohio, it's not that far from Indy or from even Muncie. Muncie, what, a couple hours?
Not bad.
Yeah. Take a drive, man, and check out Walter's show. It's going to be really good. The lineup he's got is.
You can go to Kings Island today. Kings Island's only an hour from where we're going to be. Make this a whole weekend experience.
Yeah.
And if you're in the flea market business, between Columbus and Kings Island, there's a huge flea market out there called Trader's World. That's worth your stop too. There is a guy in there that has nothing but wrestling collectibles. I've been to the store 2 or 3 times. It is a huge store, and there's nothing but wrestling collectibles. So
You shouldn't tell Walter that. He'd probably be heading there.
Especially if he has a sellout.
He has a sellout. He'll spend all his money.
Yeah, I'll probably stop there. I love collecting stuff, man. I'll show you my favorite piece real quick.
Because I was going to. I
I got a thing.
I was going to do.
There. It's one of my most.
you guys are scrambling back.
See that?
Then I
Yep.
have Angelina Love autograph right here. I've got a Matt Taven right here. I've got a Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks right here. I've got an Ace Austin right here. So I mean, I got a couple.
I'm gonna be nuts. You don't have a little Cody Rhodes buddy that you sleep with or anything, do you?
Cody Rhodes, my hero, man. I got to meet him back in like 2011 when SmackDown was here in Indianapolis, when he was the Intercontinental Champion. It was super earlier in the day. I was getting my ticket to the box office. Right when I walked out the door, Cody Rhodes was in like this white rental car, and he talked to me and like one other person for like 5 minutes before he started his day. I'll never forget that.
That's
Super
awesome.
cool.
That's cool.
Fantastic, man. That's great. Yeah, Cody Rhodes is outstanding. He's as hot as he's ever been right now. So that's cool. So what'd you think of that Cody's match this last Saturday?
Man, I didn't like that ending. He got tore up.
I love the match. I love the match, man. I thought it was great storytelling.
The match
I thought
from
the match
was much better.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 39
because
never
he
happened.
won. Yes, it did, Walter. It happened.
God, that was so rough, man. I don't think I've ever been that upset about a match outcome before like that. Oh man, that broke my heart.
Yeah,
I didn't like the Chris Jericho Adam Cole match from Sunday. That was a good one.
Walter, I did not. I thought it was.
I haven't watched it yet, to be fair.
I thought it was flat, man. I mean, I'm sorry. I love both those guys. Adam Cole, I think, could be the savior of AEW. I really do. I think he's the guy. But the match just didn't do it for me. And a lot of other people do feel the. I mean, I've seen a lot of other people give reviews and giving it a C at best, and that's what I gave it. I don't know. I know you're such a big fan of both guys, so I know it's hard for you.
Don't quit hitting the microphone. We're going to have to go out by the car to the trunk.
Walter's opinion, I wanted to punch him. No, I'm just teasing. But yeah, it just fell flat for me. It really did.
That's fair. I definitely don't think it should have been second. That messed me up right there. It should have been much higher on the card.
I think it should have. If it wasn't going to be the last two matches, I think it should have been the first match, and it should have came out of the gate just punching everybody in the face.
Did you guys see who he's facing this weekend? He's facing Logan Myers on his road to THUNDERMANIA. That should be interesting.
Who?
I believe that's in South Bend.
Did you catch the first name?
I didn't catch the first name. Repeat that, Walter. You cut out.
Do you guys see who Jake Omen's facing this weekend?
Jake Omen.
That's from PWK, right?
Logan
Yep,
Myers. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Star man himself, Logan Myers, in a student versus teacher match.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. PWK, yeah, I've seen that.
That'd be real good.
PWK, that's up north, isn't it?
South
Yep.
Bend.
How many of the shows did you get to watch this weekend, Walter? There was 4 shows this past weekend. How many of them did you get to see?
Just the WWE one and the AEW one. I didn't watch none of the other one.
Okay, the Impact one, the main event. Have you heard about that yet?
What happened? What'd they do?
You haven't heard this yet?
something I've never seen before.
Well, I
And
got
I've
to
been
my
watching
glasses to
wrestling
see his reaction to
for over
this.
50 years. PCO took on Macklin in the championship match. Macklin is the champion of Impact, and it was a no disqualification match. Chris watched the match also, and we were stunned. During the match, Macklin grabbed out a staple gun and he stapled PCO's mouth shut.
Ew.
About 3 or 4 staples,
Yeah.
and that's the reaction we kind of had. So my mouth was open. Then PCO takes him out, knocks him down, goes grabs a pair of pliers and proceeds to pull out the staples on camera. The 3 or 4 staples that was in his mouth with pliers. It was I never seen anything like that before, ever.
Yeah, I hope I never see something like that. Man, that's disgusting. That's just sick.
It was crazy.
I'm
was
disappointed.
crazy.
Did they pull out? Did they pull out cinder blocks? I mean,
It was a crazy match.
it was a crazy match.
It was very good. And the women's match before that was outstanding. Peraza and Jordan Grace. It was outstanding. Them 2 matches were very, very, very good.
Oh,
You need to
anything.
go watch.
Peraza's
Need to
pretty.
need to watch the last man standing match off the NXT.
Oh, geez, peas.
What's the guy's name?
Dragunov and Dijak. Possibly match of the year.
Dude, they beat the holy shit out of each other.
Yes, it was outstanding. It might be the match of the year right now.
I will definitely check that. Most definitely.
Yes, it was crazy. And NXT pay-per-view or whatever you want to call it now. I don't know what they call it. Also very good this past weekend.
Oh, just so you know, that finally hit YouTube.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, I just pulled it up and they're showing it.
Okay.
There he goes.
Yeah,
We'll have to look it up yourself.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. I
don't know.
I couldn't believe it.
By me so I don't puke all over the carpet. Oh man.
Yeah, my wife kept on said, "Are you okay?" Because I mean, I was stunned. I've never seen nothing like that. I was just sitting there with my mouth open. I didn't speak for about 5 minutes. My wife
Yes,
said, "Are you all right?" I said,
it's on YouTube. I just pulled it up, so you put in PCO staples and it's the first video and it'll start running. So
It's
Billy, you look that up and you can find it like right now. So
And also, Billy, I'm waiting for a response back about those the dates for you with the for Blake Wright. So once I hear something back, I'll let you know.
It's on with me today, Icon Lee, but he couldn't get the thing to work.
Okay.
The link.
I know you're really excited for the Icon Lee and
Dalton Love.
I'm Love, and I'm getting old. I have brain farts all the time, but and I mean, I know Dalton for all these years. How can I forget his name? But yeah, I know you're really excited for that match.
Most definitely, you know. I mean,
Don't you have a? Go ahead.
Well, I mean, this is honestly, when you really think about it, I mean, these two are the future of the industry. I mean, with everything that they do and how hard they push out what they do and just promote themselves. I mean, they do everything that they're supposed to do, and their performances are always, you know, top notch. And if this is anything like the match that he had with Gaston Leroux, this is going to be a classic. Like, just the whole way they built that up, like the way they're building this up. You know, I mean, it's gotten a lot darker than I anticipated, obviously. That's why we're having a no disqualification Falls Count Anywhere match. But honestly, this is a journey, and this is going to be something that is truly unlike anything that's ever been seen in Thunder or Blunder before. Like, it's just going to have a different vibe. It's just a different tone to it than normal. And I just can't reiterate that enough. This is going to get ugly very, very quick.
That sounds.
And are you still having the Luke Savage and Nick Diamond match?
Yeah, that's actually going to be the pre-show match before the main card starts. That'll be at 7:15 prior to the main card starting. 7:30 or 7:35 if they decide to wrestle for a while. But yeah, that will be the very first match anyone sees.
That'd be
And of
I
course,
think that'd be a good one as well.
Of course, we have an XCF challenge match as well with 4 superstars from XCF. That's courtesy of XCF, so keep an eye out for that as well.
Walter, I have a question for you. You're Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling, not independent. I'm gonna have you do an independent one too, independent wrestlers. But you're Mount Rushmore. You're 4 guys.
Sting, AJ Styles, Chris Jericho, and The Undertaker.
It's good 4. I think you got to take Styles off there and put Rollins on there since Rollins beat him this past weekend.
Man, it's disgusting.
I'm just messing with it.
AJ Styles was the wrestler of the decade. All right. He's literally held every championship there is that's available to him where he's been, 3-time NWA champion, 2-time TNA Impact Wrestling champion, 2-time New Japan Pro Wrestling IWGP champion, 2-time WWE champion. I mean,
Walter,
multiple time.
Who's the best wrestler?
I'm sorry?
Who's the best wrestler? Who's the best wrestler in the world right now?
I mean, it's got to be Shane Mercer, 100%. Iron Demon Shane Mercer.
Shane Mercer?
Yep, 100%.
I didn't think he was going there, but okay. I figured he was going to go AJ Styles is what I figured.
Ain't nobody tearing it up harder than Shane Mercer right now. While you guys were frozen as we were talking about, Shane Mercer this past Sunday made his debut with Derby City Wrestling. That's a nationally broadcasted organization right there. Of course, they've got coverage in Louisville, Kentucky as well on television. And then the night before, he was in Loco Wrestling in Houston, Texas. A few weeks prior to that, he was in Pomona, California for XPW. Speaking of XPW, got to give a big shout out to Big Al, the unicycle Alice Crowley, for her huge match she had over the weekend with the returning Tessa Blanchard. Big congratulations for that.
Have you got to check that out?
I have not yet, but I'm very excited to.
Yeah, I will want to, definitely. You're Mount Rushmore of independent wrestlers.
Ace Austin, Shane Mercer, Blake Wright, and I don't know if I had to pick a 4th. I'd throw Piper on there. Piper GK fam, for sure. Piper's the next rock for me. Plus, he's a musician. And I'd have to throw Ari Alexander on there, too. She'd have to get put on there somewhere as well.
All good guys. I think I don't know. I have to think about it.
Fantasy match that you could book. Anybody from past, present, dead, or alive. If you could book the match, 2 people. We're going to Madison Square Garden.
Oh, boy.
We'll fill it up. Who would it be?
Man, that's tough, man. There's so many options there. I'd love to see Ace Austin and AJ Styles. That would be an amazing match right there.
Would be good.
Blake Money Wright. That'd be a great match. I mentioned this in my last interview last year with you guys. Brock Lesnar and Shane Mercer. That'd be another dream match right there for sure.
What about Undertaker and Sting?
Yeah, you can't forget about that. That's been a dream match people wrote about since the 90s. I remember They would write about that in Pro Wrestling Illustrated in the 90s. What if they wrestled?
Yeah, I wish they would have had that match.
Marcus,
Yeah, that
is there,
was like the biggest missed opportunity in professional wrestling right there.
Marcus, do you have a match that you never got to see, that two wrestlers that you would love to see?
We also should
Well,
have
I
got
could-
Cody Rhodes and Sting as well when Cody Rhodes was still in AEW. Can't forget about that. Don't know how that didn't happen.
I seen a thing over the weekend. Somebody mentioned Ox Baker versus Bruiser Brody in their
That would be
prime. I was thinking, man, I never that because those two guys were in such different eras that would never have happened.
Yeah.
Or if
Well-
it did, Bruiser or Brody would have just destroyed him because Ox was getting up in age. But
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause-
Brody and Hogan, Brody and the Undertaker.
yeah, because I seen a thing on my phone today that Brody and Bruiser, Dick the Bruiser, wrestled each other in 1980.
Cage
Think-
match.
Yeah, I think it was a cage match. So I mean, they could have wrestled, but like you said, Ox Baker would have been a lot older.
But yeah, Bruiser Brody and Hogan, Bruiser Brody and Undertaker.
You dancing?
Billy said that. He said, "Wow, Staples' match was crazy."
Yes. I never.
Then he
seen,
pulls about himself.
yeah, I've never seen anything like that ever.
Yeah. And that dude, and the dude that PCO's he's in his 50s.
Yes.
I mean, so it's not like he's a young guy to be doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll never understand how he did all that crazy stuff, man. Never understand. He went from a guy who wrestled in the WWF when they had the red, white, and blue ropes to the current era. Now he's like this crazed lunatic. Yeah, hell of a transition there for sure. One of the best, most unique reinventions I think we've ever seen in pro wrestling.
And Bully Ray said that the dude really doesn't feel pain. That the dude's crazy and he does not feel no pain.
Well, there's no way he could.
Yeah, he does not. He said he does not feel pain. He said he's never seen nothing like it.
I've never seen nothing like it. So
No.
that was crazy.
And also, Bully Ray said that that match, me and Chris also Backlund was bleeding and was bleeding bad. I mean, he had a meat flap there on his head, a little deep there. But anyway, Bully Ray, and you know how long he's been around with ECW and everything. He said that's the most blood he's ever seen. On the ring, outside the ring, he said he's never seen that amount of blood. So that tells you something right there. You know,
Well, he said he had to throw his clothes away.
Yeah,
because he came out and he had to roll in the ring. He started couldn't find a spot to get in the ring where there wasn't a puddle of blood. He decided to throw my clothes. I threw my clothes away.
So it was crazy.
But Walter, was there any thing else you wanted to talk about the June 24th show?
Trying to think, trying to make sure I covered everything. I do believe I did. Again, it's just you don't want to forget about that promotion versus promotion match, with Tim Lutz and Rampage Radisson. You have Indiana versus Ohio there. It's Frontier Elite Wrestling versus Ascend Pro Wrestling. They've never squared off. Can't forget about Jake Oman and Jake Christ. It's been many, many years since they've had an encounter. They've been all over the world, main event anywhere in the world. Del Patricks and Isaiah, two of the most daredevil type of wrestlers you'll ever see. They throw it all out there and are never afraid to just throw balls to the wall, so to speak. So you're going to get a great, quality contest there. Casey Clay and Haley Shadows. It's going to be a solid women's match. Nick Diamond and Luke Savage kicking off the entire festivities. Jared Kripke and Piper GK Fam. Can't forget about that one. That's going to be a match that really sets the tone for the evening as the first official match of the main card. There, got the XCF 4-way as well. And then can't forget about the main event, the double main event with Ari Alexander and Angel Metro, and then main event with Brian Pillman Jr., AEW superstar, taking on Shane Mercer for the Juggalo Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, Men's Circle 6, GCW, ICW No Holds Barred, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other places. You're getting two of the greatest wrestlers active in the entire industry throwing down for the very first time. Doesn't get much more thunder than that. It's going to be thunder of epic proportions. That's why this ain't Thunder Blunder 5. It's Thunder Mania, Saturday, June 24th in Lewis Center, Ohio, just outside of Columbus. Only $15 to get in. And it's taking place at the A2 Gardens at the Oasis Beach Sports Complex. Tickets are now available at juniorsticketleap.com/thundermania.
It's going to be a great show, everybody. Definitely check that out. I know Walter's put a lot of hard work into it. Definitely deserves some success here. And but besides that, it's going to be a great show. I guarantee it. A lot of great wrestlers on that show. Going to be a lot of great action, no doubt about it. Chris, real quick, what would be your dream match? Two people that, as far as you know, never faced. Mine, I think Marcus probably knows mine because I've said it before. Bruiser Brody, Brock Lesnar. I'd pay a lot of money to see Bruiser Brody and Brock Lesnar go at it.
Bruiser Brody had over the lip. Think of what would have happened.
I know it.
Oh,
Bruiser Brody, yeah, he was way well before his time, man. I often imagine what it'd be like if he was still around.
Yeah, it's one of my regrets of never seeing him in person.
Yeah.
He'd be a force right now if he was still around. Luke Harper.
We should do that on the show sometime. Book all of us book a card of all dream matches.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Maybe 6, 7, 8 matches. I think that'd be good for a topic, Marcus.
No, I'm always good at trying to promote book stuff.
all right, Marcus. Do you have anything else?
Nope, you guys, between the three of us, I think we answered everything. I wrote down a bunch of stuff, so I think we covered it.
What time is bell time again?
Bell time is 7:30. The doors will be opening up at 6:30. Then, of course, if you're coming from Indianapolis or you're coming from a couple hours from where we're having this event, make it a whole weekend experience. You can go to Kings Island the next day. Kings Island, less than an hour from where we're going to be. I promise you, if you guys make this trip out, it will be something you can take with you the rest of your life, because this isn't just another wrestling show. This is going to be an experience of epic proportion.
I would say Stone Cold and Dusty Rhodes.
That'd be interesting.
Did they not wrestle each other at WCW when he was stunning Steve? I would have thought somehow those two would cross.
Terry Funk and The Undertaker.
Terry
Funk and The Undertaker. That'd be all right too. Yeah.
Well, I've seen Undertaker knock the crap out of Terry Funk during that cage match. Knocked him out of his shoes during that cage match with Mick Foley.
Was like 105 years old. We're talking.
Yeah. It wouldn't matter. Because Mick Foley comes to, he said, "Where'd the shoes come from?" He didn't know what was going on. That just cracks me up. Yeah, everybody, just let's go to Columbus, Ohio, and check out this show for Thundermania. So it's going to be awesome. June 24th. So just definitely check that out.
Walter, where can you get tickets at? Let everybody know one more time real quick.
The ticket website is juniorstickets.ticketleap.com/thundermania. Again, that is juniorstickets.ticketleap.com/thundermania. You guys definitely want to get your tickets now, because they're going to be more expensive at the door. You're not going to be able to get the deals you can get now.
Yeah, those are pretty good deals online.
It is. Yeah, you got a real bargain there. Prices for a show like this. I definitely agree.
All right, we appreciate everybody watching GWR. Like we said, go check out Walter's show, THUNDERMANIA, June 24th. We've been to two of his other shows. Both of them were real good shows. Unfortunately, we won't be able to be at this one. Hopefully, we'll be able to get to the next one. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room. We greatly appreciate it. Like, follow Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all at Gonzo Sports Room. We'll be live Saturday at 6:30 p.m. for NGW in Crawfordsville, Indiana. I know they got a good solid card there, so come join us for that if you can't make it to Crawfordsville. And then next weekend, June 10th, we'll be with WCWO in Lebanon, Indiana. So I'm really looking forward to that card as well. But
should be you guys.
17th.
Yeah, June 17th we'll be here in Muncie, Indiana for DCCW and WCWO. Or WCWO North.
South.
Or what was he called it? DCWO.
Yeah.
Is that what Mike was called it now?
Yeah. Like that. He changes every other day.
But we appreciate everybody watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Go get some tickets for THUNDERMANIA. Also, I know you can check out Walter's Facebook page. You can get more information on anything THUNDERMANIA. I've been sharing the flyer on our page as well, so you can find out information there.
Also, you guys can go to our page and check out the two shows that we went to and see what kind of action you're going to see. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. So you can check that out on our site.
One of the matches off Thunder Blunder 2 is one of our most viewed videos.
Yes.
Charlie Cruel versus Kayla Cassidy. That was a brawl. Man, that got crazy.
Yeah, because that fan got hurt. The bird cage caught that guy.
The bird cage. Oh my God, I
Caught
forgot
that guy right there.
They used bird cages. I think there was a toaster, TV. There was all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it was a crazy night.
And it was cold.
Yeah,
cold outside.
Yeah.
Hey, we should have been back there by that door where we was at.
Yeah,
I think that's why the one guy, Stevie, I think that's why he quit.
He froze. He never come back.
He never come back after that show. I think he got too cold.
I blame you, Walter, for that. My nephew Stevie quit the wrestling business, commentating business, because the building was 20 below.
Oh boy.
And it started the night before the Super Bowl, and I think it ended 2 days after the Super Bowl.
It was a good show. It was a good show.
Great show.
And had a good crowd there.
Yeah, had a good crowd.
But yeah, you like Dad said, you can find that. You can watch that on our YouTube page. It's actually broke down into matches, or you can watch the whole show on there. So.
Really good matches. So you get a taste of what you're going to see coming up.
And the last Thunder Blunder from back in December is
very good.
They're in the Emerson in Indianapolis is on there as well. There was a lot of good matches on there.
Don't want to forget there was Dalton Love versus Del Patricks. There was Jawan Thomas versus Shane Mercer. As we just talked about, Ari Alexander versus Hardcore Charlie Cruel. That match happened on there. There was Dex Royal versus Piper GK Fam on there. Of course, there was that really bloody, nasty match with Sam Knight and Austin Ryan on there.
Luke Savage. Luke Savage and Dylan Bostic.
Yep. But my favorite was
Casey Clay, Knuckles, can't forget about that. There was a triple threat match, Blake Wright.
Oh yeah, Apollo Star and Logan Meyer.
Yeah, that was my favorite match on the show, was Logan Myers and Apollo Star. Love that.
A lot of people in that match. I've noticed that the view count on that's went up recently.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that match. One of my favorites. Well, everybody have a good night. Walter, you have a good night, and good luck to you on the show.
We appreciate everybody watching. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room. We greatly appreciate it. We just went over 500 subscribers on YouTube, which is pretty cool, especially in just around no longer than what we've been doing it. Our Facebook keeps growing, so we appreciate everybody watching and commenting.
When you go get on TikTok and dance,
we might get on TikTok, but I ain't dancing.
I could just film you falling down in the water boat. I tell you, if we did a show on TikTok and you slamming the trunk and my head in the trunk and stuff, I think we could get a lot of views. I don't think I'm going to do the trunk thing again, but we can find something.
I take video of you tripping. Derek. Well, I almost done it this time with Kokomo.
Yeah, I tripped twice in a row, and poor Kelly about broke her knees.
I hit one of them the other night. I got lucky and just grazed it. I didn't fall, but
yeah, she made sure she parked where there was none on this side. She made sure she wouldn't do that again.
That lighting,
smart lady.
That lighting out there is terrible.
Oh yeah, it is.
But all right, we appreciate everybody watching. We'll see you guys next time. Like I said, join us this Saturday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter with NGW. I'm not sure what the show's called, but I know it's in Crawfordsville, Indiana. But we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn podcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass.